Ted Cruz, he has sort of started this whole government shutdown thing because he hates Obamacare, did his 21-hour filibuster that actually wasn't a filibuster, sort of, because it was against a Republican House bill, and he's a Republican in the Senate, okay, blah, blah, blah. Did you know he is backed by a pot-smoking gay billionaire? Yeah, that's right. Peter Thiel, who is the founder of PayPal. He was also one of the first investors in Facebook. He has given a ton of money to Ted Cruz. Actually, I have a number here. He gave $2 million to the Club for Growth, which is not a hair club. I thought it was on first look. That's a super PAC that then gave over $600,000 to Ted Cruz's election campaign in Texas. Now, some of the other things that Peter Thiel has given money to include space travel, life extension, anti-aging, artificial intelligence, and he even gave $100,000 to 20 kids not to go to college, just to see what would happen with their lives. So he's into some pretty progressive scientific things, which all seem very reverse of what Ted Cruz believes. What do we make of this, and how much can we get out of that someone gives someone money? Can we really glean everything into them? Can you really figure it out about them?
Yeah, I mean, this one's a little bit of an easy bouncing ball to follow here. Peter Thiel is a staunch libertarian. Yep. He's all about, the extreme measures of people being able to do whatever they want as long as everything is privatized. Now, Ted Cruz has to appeal to his more conservative constituents. However, he also is a kind of, very strict constitutionalist, according to what Ted Cruz is saying right now. At least he's coming out swinging like Constitution, right. It's one of his favorite words. Well, that's in line with what Peter Thiel is in line with. So even though you wouldn't think that maybe on a social scene that they would match up, at least for what Peter Thiel's immediate goals are for his finances and where he wants his super PAC to go, and the Club for Growth is heavy, heavy libertarian stuff, he sees that Ted Cruz is kind of the person who's an up-and-coming, loudmouth type of person that would champion him. Now, what's interesting is Ted Cruz has kind of been distancing himself from Peter Thiel in certain circles, right. Going, oh gosh, well, the gayness and the pot smoking and basically all these things that are central to probably things in his daily life and that makes up who he am has nothing to do with all this money and the fact that he loves the private sector and he loves the Constitution too.
Right. What could Ted Cruz hate more than gayness and pot smoking? Right. Can you even think of, I guess, Obamacare?
Not liking the Constitution, apparently. So it would be interesting and it would be a real opportunity for Ted Cruz, which unfortunately I doubt I don't think he'll take it. But if Ted Cruz really wanted to come out and be a leader in his party, what he would say is, look, this person's values are in line with mine. He is gay. He, smokes marijuana. Yes. But his values are in line with mine, that he wants less government, that he wants less people up in our business or whatever, the Tea Party's obsessed with, and actually turn the party around and say we can have people that don't look like us, sound like us, and have the same social values on our side, and he could turn the whole party around.
Right. So, Rick, before I let you jump in, so these other things like space travel, that is something that Ted Cruz is not big on funding, I assure you. I actually can't swear to a fact. But life extension, anti-aging, artificial intelligence, I mean, these are all the type of things that get cut from budgets because they're based in science.
Thiel's just putting the hip in hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And that's all he wants, because he's hoping no one puts this level of analysis into the issue and hope that whatever they hear about the story, they'll assume it's a lie. And they'll go right back to whatever their world looked like right before they heard this news. There's ways to lock truth out. They've figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
So I think they're doing it on purpose, though. I think that this is in line with what Peter Thiel wants. Peter Thiel is a strict constitutionalist and libertarian, so he believes that he should be, with his private money funding space travel, funding all these things. So Ted Cruz again would get on board with him by saying the government shouldn't be funding all these experiments and all these unnecessary things. This should come from the private sector so you could profit on it once. They are very much in line. This relationship makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Again, if they could just come around and say, we don't care if you're gay and you smoke weed, you have all the same values as us.
Yeah, so in a weird way, so they're sort of like an unholy alliance, but in a bizarre way, it's sort of based in things that they seem to believe. So is something like this okay? For example, just going with the gay thing, is it okay for someone who is gay, who I assume believes in equality, to go ahead and back someone who doesn't believe in that? Or is that an overriding issue related to all the other things?
I think our standards for okay and theirs are two entirely different planets.
Yeah.
What we call okay is not even on their radar. You know, and what they call, okay, there's just different things that they want, and the shields they'll put up. And a lot of these things are just, you know, but claiming to be Christian is often just a safe house for a creepy dude. Just goes, now you've got to go through that 9 miles of concrete I just put between us. Yeah. And I'm safer here longer is all it is, you know. And I think a lot of what they're saying into the camera is it seems like the mainstream news has a tendency to ask a liar if they're a liar, which is the definition of insanity. You know, I don't think they mean most of what they say on the air. I think they just want us, their followers, to believe they mean it. They want their followers to be antithetical to them in many ways, as long as it serves them on the yard. That's a dog you want outside, but not in the house. Yeah.
So what's the deal with libertarians and the gay issue? Because to me, a true libertarian who believes in liberty and limited government, and that you should believe in what you believe and own your body and your mind, they should be. Rand Paul and Ted Cruz, by the definition of what they're supposed to believe in, should believe in marriage equality.
That's my point.
And that's
they don't mean anything they're saying. Look at the memo that morning. I gotta mean this today.
Right. Yeah. I think that they are in this weird. So I covered the LNC. I covered the Libertarian National Convention, and there were more very open transvestites, transsexual people, I mean, with extreme, you know, different social things that they were into there at the LNC because they wanted to be part of it, and they were excited about last year's candidate was Governor Gary Johnson from New Mexico. I've interviewed him. He's extremely socially liberal, but extremely fiscally conservative, which I think is weirdly in line again with what the Tea Party wants. And the Tea Party is just this weird super right faction of kooks that they're so right wing that they forget that what they really want can only be accomplished by privatizing and leaving people the F alone. Yeah. So when they forget that leaving you alone is really what they want, that means your bedroom too, not just your finances, not just your health care, not whatever they think they want, not touched by the government. That means the government leaves nothing alone. No marriage amendments blocking marriage. That means people can do what they want. Right. But libertarians—
It's cherry picking.
So how do they cherry pick? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. How do they decide that the gay, so that's purely—
And that's why it shifts from week to week as they get a new memo. Oh, now this group's mad. They're like the guy on the Sullivan Show, spinning this plate, but now these guys are mad over here, but now this one is wobbling, I gotta run back. That's why they all are drunk. They all look like they're falling apart. They're doing this Fado room-to-room runaround farce trying to hold a lie together. Yeah. And the one thing they didn't want was the internet starting to get the truth out, and it was starting to show TV shows that would have the truth and people publishing the truth, and it's disintegrating their little bubble there wasn't supposed to be that other data out there. It was only supposed to be our version of the BS out there. Yeah. That's falling apart. We're watching that part fall apart. This is like the Martian walkers in War of the Worlds. And they look like they're going to fight, but now there's liquid spilling out, and they're weak, and they're falling all over the place. Now you could knock them over.
They're disintegrating by their own bullshit, basically.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, well, there are no spinning plates here, I promise you, because I don't know how to do it. Hey guys, the Rubin Report is brought to you by Coupon.com. They've got 75% off dog and cat chews, toys, accessories, home goods, and more. Use code RR for 20% off your next purchase. The link is right down there.